Hi, and welcome back. This is Management Information Systems, and we're in the MIS6 book, Chapter 12, Management Support Systems. So let's take a look at some of the designs that an organization can have. Structured decisions can be automated, but they have to be well-defined. Standard operating procedures in order for this to happen. Semi-structured include some aspects that benefit from information retrieval and the information technology. What we use at Madison College is a structured decision-making structure, and we have standard operating procedures that we use in order to perform routine changes. And we can talk more about that as we move through this chapter. Unstructured decisions are usually one-time decisions with no standard operating procedure. Decision makers' intuition plays an important part of this type of decision. The problem with unstructured decisions is that with no standard operating procedure, you have not thought through the steps that go into making a decision. One of the things that we do in our organization is we have a different kind of change. It's called, instead of a routine change, it's a regular change. And that goes through a process where it's reviewed by a governance board. The challenges of semi-structured or unstructured changes can be a lot of things. Multiple criteria, conflicting objectives. This is a look at the organizational levels and the kinds of decisions that you make. The more prepared you can be going into a decision, the better decision that you're going to make. So, in terms of management support systems, there's different types of information systems that have been developed to support certain aspects of these types of decisions. So let's take a look at them. There's an intelligence phase, a define phase, a choice phase, and an implementation phase. This has a lot to do with what we talked about in the past, which is called SDLC, or the System Development Life Cycle. Decision makers examine the organization's environment, and then they look for architectural needs and analysis in order to make the decision. So they define the criteria for the decision, or the requirements, alternatives for meeting the criteria, associations between the criteria, and whether or not the information technology supports the phase of the decision making. So in the choice phase, it's selecting the best and most effective course of action, analyzing each alternative, and then the decision support. So how are you going to help support the decision that's made in the information management system? And then in the implementation phase, what happens is you carry out that plan. The decision support system is an information system designed to assist decision makers in an organization, and it consists of hardware, software, and data. Again, what you're doing is you're using analysis in order to make that decision about what's best for your organization. Requirements are a very, very important part of making a decision. You need to talk to both internal and external users, include them in your decision, use analysis to make the decision, and also define the standard operating procedure that would be a part of a future decision that is similar to this. Some components of a decision support system is, of course, a database, because that has the data that supports the decision that you make. It should always be a data-driven decision. And components of the support system of a decision are the users and the user's access through the user interface. And the decision support system engine manages and coordinates the major components. So here's a look at the components of a decision support system, and it gives you kind of an idea of how it works and how they interact. So some of the capabilities of a DSS, it supports the what-if analysis, it's goal-seeking, it's sensitive to analysis, and exceptions for reporting analysis. Other things that might be considered are geographical analysis, forecasting, simulation, and modeling. Some of the roles that are a part of this decision-making process is the user. That has to be an important component in the decision. And then the managerial design. And then there's the technical designer that focuses on the implementation of the decision. There's a model builder, which may create a model in order to do testing and see how the data is interpreted or how the testing runs through the model. Here's some of the benefits of a DSS. Fast response, ability to make one-of-a-kind decisions, new insights and learning, and improved communication, and increase in the number of alternatives that are examined. There's cost savings, better decisions, effective teamwork, time savings, and better use of data resources. So there are other branches of DSS which are called executive information systems. And they give executives easy access to internal and external data and allow them to drill down into that data. They require access to both internal and external data, and they're designed to provide information related to an organization's critical success factors. It integrates information from multiple sources. It gives minute-to-minute snapshots, and it identifies trends and potential problems. It helps managers with providing analytical and decision-making tools, graphical interfaces, and it's easy for executives and managers to share that information. Some of the factors that can lead to a failure of an EIS is resistance to the project or perceptions that the project is unimportant, lack of interest or commitment, inability to define objectives and requirements. The system's objectives aren't linked to the factors critical to the organization's success, and then also cost that cannot be justified. Trying to develop an application that takes too much time and is too complicated. Vendor support has been discontinued. Executives don't have the computer proficiency to be able to use the EIS, and lack of understanding about how an EIS works. So here's the tasks that are performed by managers using an EIS. There's tracking, flagging, ranking, comparing, spotting trends, investigating, or exploring. This is something we use when we do our project management. A lot of these same things are identified in the project management area as part of that process, and making a decision how to move forward with the projects that are brought to you. Group support systems are exactly what they sound like. They assist decision makers working in groups. Some of the factors that are involved is the group size, the scope of the task, the sophistication, and their ability to work together. It's the kinds of people that would use something like this would be committees, review panels, board meetings, task forces, and decision-making sessions. Groupware assists groups in communicating, collaborating, and coordinating their activities. And its the applications support the decision makers. It's intended for teamwork. It helps a group decision makers work with the same application, and it helps them only if they work together. There are a lot of capabilities of groupware. There's audio and video conferencing, automated appointment books, brainstorming, database access, email, online chat, scheduling, to-do lists, workflow automation. There's all kinds of things you can do with groupware. There's electronic meetings, which means that you can have real-time conferencing, video teleconferencing, and desktop conferencing. The advantages are it can reduce costs and stress. It increases the time to talk, and collaboration is improved because all of the decision makers can be gathered together through that web conferencing or group automation process that provides the ability to be in different geographical areas. Some disadvantages is there's, of course, a lack of a human touch. You'll see a face, but not necessarily be able to be in the same room. There's security that may be a problem. You could run into unnecessary meetings, overscheduling meetings that aren't really needed. And the implementation costs can be expensive for web conferencing and group tools like that. One of the other systems that we are going to talk about is geographic information system. It captures, stores, and processes geographical information and uses spatial and non-spatial data. Examples of a GIS might be driving directions on Google Maps. GIS applications can be used for education planning, urban planning, government, insurance, marketing, real estate, transportation, and logistics. And some factors in designing and management support system, there are many, many kinds of them, is support from top management. Objectives are clearly defined. Identifying executives' informational needs. Keeping the lines of communication open. The system's complexity, hidden interface kept simple. So you want to make it as simple as possible. Maintaining consistency, and designing a flexible system because it's going to change. Here are some of the key terms that are part of the information systems that we discussed. And thank you. I will see you in class.